So guys, today I'm here with a quick leveling guide for the Edge of Fate expansion. As you can see, I'm now 200 power level, so I have a pretty decent understanding of how leveling in this expansion works, and I'm going to be showing you guys some tips so that you guys can level up just as easily. So first things first, go ahead and complete the campaign for the Edge of Fate expansion on Legend difficulty. If you're loading in for the first time, head over to this portal screen and then the campaign should just be right here in the bottom right ready for you to go and play. You'll be able to select the legendary difficulty as soon as you start up, so just select that difficulty and then it should set every other mission that you go into going forward into that same difficulty. So you don't need to worry about changing it every time. Then, after you've completed the campaign on Legend difficulty, you should be at 100 power level. That's what you need to be in order to do the raid, so if you just want to do that and get raid ready, you're pretty much done. If you want to get above 100 though, what I would then recommend doing is going and completing all of the side quest content within Kepler. These can be marked on the map by the blue icons that you see within the different regions of Kepler. By doing this, I got from around 100 power to 150, and it gave me some more lore context for the actual destination, which was pretty darn cool. Then, after you've done that, you're mainly going to want to be diving into the different portal activities here. So you have Solo Ops, Fireteam Ops, Pinnacle Ops, and Crucible. These are just basically different modes that you can play. Crucible's the same as it always has been. Pinnacle Ops is exotic missions. Fireteam Ops is like strikes and battlegrounds. And then Solo Ops are basically areas within the game that are now available for you to go and play in a solo manner. So kind of like Lost Sectors, but just a little bit more advanced. And as you can see, with these different activities, you're going to be getting some guaranteed rewards. So if you go into K1 Logistics and get a grade B or higher, you're going to be getting some guaranteed gloves. If you go into the Quickplay playlist on Expert difficulty, you're going to be getting a guaranteed helmet. For Crucible, if you go into this, you're going to be getting some guaranteed gloves. And for completing your placement matches, you're going to be getting a hand cannon as well. For Pinnacle Ops, you're going to be getting this guaranteed fusion rifle, stuff like that. So noting what guaranteed weapons and armor you're going to be getting can also be a major advantage to leveling up fast, because as you can see, each item here has a specific power level, and as you can see, my heavy weapon that is now equipped is significantly lower than all of my other items. So if I go into this portal screen and look for an activity that gives me a guaranteed heavy weapon, like Battleground Delve does, completing this activity and getting that guaranteed heavy weapon will then flatten out my different power levels so that whenever I get a random loot drop now, it'll always be an increase no matter what item actually drops. So that's a nice way of just flattening out all of your items so that they're at similar power levels so that you have no wasted drops. Now, if you want to be efficient in your farming, many people are just doing the Pinnacle Ops playlist and doing the quickest exotic mission that they can, that mainly being Star-Crossed. But if you want to be super optimal, I would actually recommend going into Kel's Fall, because as you can see, you're going to get 1 bonus drop reward plus 2 completion rewards, as well as the guaranteed Lionfish 4FR for achieving a grade B or higher. So you're just going to be getting more rewards generally from Kel's Fall. Now, you'll need to weigh up the time spent in Kel's Fall compared to these other missions in order to actually dictate what's the best use of your time, but just generally you're going to be looking to see what gives the bonus drops or the most drops for completing the activity. And if you want to be getting to those higher grades to get those actual rewards the most reliably, you're then going to want to go into the customize option here to customize the actual experience of the activity itself. So first things first, go and set the activity to the highest level you can. For me that's expert right now, but you're probably going to be setting it to advanced. But just set it to whatever your highest difficulty option is. Then you have 3 options right here to choose from: your challenge modifiers, your player stakes, and your boon and event modifiers. So let's first go over challenge modifiers. These are going to add things like Banes to specific enemies within the actual activity. So you have Rage and Shroud, Screeber and Front Shielding, as well as Front Shielding and Avalanche. These are just different Banes that are going to be added to enemies. So just read whatever Bane sounds the least annoying and select that. Once you do select it, you'll see that your grade on the right side here has changed and your rewards have also changed. So you'll be given a general reward score forecast. So this is like an estimation of what score you should be getting upon completion. So this isn't like guaranteed. If you just speed run through the activity and don't kill nearly enough enemies, you can miss this grade, but it's like a estimation of what grade you'll get from just completing the activity. But if you want to make this grade higher to make it then more likely you're going to be getting these rewards, you can obviously add more stuff like these different modifiers you see here. First, you have your created threat modifiers. So for this activity, it's arc threat, and you have 2 different difficulties of that. You then have your minor negative modifiers of chill touched, counterfeit, and hot step. Then you've got your faction drop modifiers. For this, it's scorn, festering, rupture, as well as your faction unit modifier in scorn, raider, shield. Then you have your major negative modifier in energy drain and slow and small. Now by adding just one of these, you can see my score has gone up, and because I'm on a higher difficulty, my loot has actually increased as well. So just by removing that, I'm getting a tier 1 weapon as well as the lionfish fusion, but then by equipping this, I get a tier 2 reward drops now. So that's going to be giving me 3 tier 2 drops just from completing this activity if I get this specific score, which I should be able to do relatively easy. You can also add more modifiers onto this, but as you can see, the difficulty got to very hard just by adding more of those, but my rewards didn't actually increase. So there is literally no point in adding these at all, because there's no point in making the thing harder if the rewards you're getting aren't increasing. Some other stuff you can add though in order to make it a little bit more easier on yourself is these player stakes modifiers. So the ones that are available currently are making it so that you can only use new or featured gear, or just by locking your loadouts, which is a very easy modifier to just have on. And if you want to take this one off now, you can, and your rewards won't change. So that's a very easy option to have. But if you want to make the activity easier for yourself, you actually have boon and event modifiers. These are positive modifiers that apply to yourself. So you can add a void surge, which makes void weapons do more damage. You can add ranger to make scouts, snipers, and bows generate special ammo occasionally, which is all very, very good. And as you can see, these all positively affect my experience, and they aren't actually affecting my rewards here, which is very, very good. And by equipping all of these, once again, my rewards haven't changed, so that's awesome. But let's now say that you remove the Banes. Now the reward has changed. So you need to kind of just mix and match and see what modifier combination will make the actual activity the easiest possible for you, while also giving you the best rewards as possible. Now, as you go through the levels, you're going to be just getting these different drops and leveling up, and then you'll unlock harder difficulties like Master and Grandmaster eventually, and you'll obviously be getting from those activities higher tier drops like tier 3s, 4s, 5s, etc. So yeah, that's basically the portal explained, but one thing I do need to make clear is that just farming out exotic missions is going to bore you out very, very quickly. And you can go and just do pretty much whatever you want and gain power. If you want to just focus on Crucible, let's say you're a PvP player, go into whatever playlist you like and you're going to be getting rewards. There is no pinnacle sources now in the game. Before this expansion, how leveling worked is that you would get to a cap and then you would need to go into specific activities to gain power. That's no longer the case. You can quite literally do whatever you want. That being said, Pinnacle Ops is probably going to be the best use of your time, but just go and do whatever you want. Like I've said before, specific gear drops are going to be a nice way of flattening out your experience so that drops aren't wasted. But apart from that, pick whatever you want to do, be it the fastest option in the Pinnacle Ops or just the most enjoyable option in whatever you want to do. Pretty simple stuff. We do not have the raid available at the moment, but I'm hoping that the raid will be the best source of loot when it becomes available. I'll have a pinned comment down in the description on whether that is the case when the raid does become available, so you guys can be informed on that. And then one final thing I want to bring up here at the end is that if you don't want to go through the process of customizing an activity, choosing modifiers to then get better rewards, you can actually find ops activities that have quick play options. This basically means that the activity itself will have set modifiers, which will allow you to just literally hit the quick play, hit launch, and then you just load in with other players, because there is matchmaking for these as well. It seems that these only go up to Master difficulty though, and you won't be getting the highest rewards possible from those, but it's just a much simpler way of playing. Or you can just go onto the Fireteam Finder to find a person who has customized the activity, so then you can get better rewards that way, or use an LFG Discord site, whatever you do to find other people to play with who have gone through the process of customizing activities for you. But yeah, that's basically everything that I have done to get to 200 power, and that's everything that I'm going to be doing to continue the grind. And that's everything that I have for you guys for this leveling guide video. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because we're getting super close to 2,000 subs. It'll be awesome if we could hit that goal. With that said though, once again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.